Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi alladhi lam yazal aliman qadiran hayyan qayyuman sami'an basira. والصلاة والسلام الأتمان الأكملان على من أرسل إلى كافة الخلق بشيرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا ألا إنه صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم حبل الله ونعمته الكبرى جعل الله تعالى للخلائق أجمعين ظهيرا من اعتصم به فقد نجا ومن خالف عنه فقد غوى ولم يجد أحدا وليا ولا نصيرا وعلى آله وصحبه وأهل بيته أبديا دهريا كثيرا كثيرا أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون والذين هم عن اللغو معرضون والذين هم للزكاة فاعلون والذين هم لفروجهم حافظون صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الأمين الكريم. हज़रात मोहतरम, इससे कबल कि इन आयात तय्यबात के मुताल्लिक़ कुछ अर्ज़ करने का शरफ़ हासिल करूँ, सुलह बरकत के लिए ज़रूरी समझता हूँ कि आइए हम सब मिलकर अपनी मोहब्बत और अक़ीदत का सबूत देते हुए बारगाह रिसालत में इंतहाई अदब और एहतराम, खुलूस और मोहब्बत के साथ हदिया दुरूद पेश करें। अस्सलातु वस्सलामु अलैका या सय्यदी या रसूलल्लाह وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا حبيب الله الصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رسول الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا نبي الله الصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رسول الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا رحمة للعالمين. सूरतुल मुमिनून की इब्तिदाई आयात मुबारका की तिलावत से मैंने अपने आप को मुशर्रफ किया है. In the introductory verses of Suratul Mu'minun, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions those people who according to the Quranul Majid are successful. Who are those people? Before mentioning that, today in the world that we live in, success, kamyabi, is measured by seeing those people who perhaps have a successful career, a lucrative job, जिसके पास अच्छी नौकरी हो, अच्छी तनख्वाह हो, अच्छा कारोबार हो, अच्छी सेहत हो, लंबी ज़िंदगी हो, अच्छी बीवी हो, बच्चे हों, ओहदा हो, मर्तबा हो, मकाम हो. Someone who has a good status, a lucrative job, great career, big house, fancy car, materialistic world that we live in. This is how success is measured, and people say that person is successful. But all of these things, we observe that the kuffar have these things. But if we look at these things, if we look at success from an Islamic perspective, इस्लाम की निगाह से जब हम कामयाबी को जानने की कोशिश करते हैं तो इस्लाम हमारी रहनुमाई फरमाता है. Islam teaches us and explains to us in the Quran and in the Hadith what is the real success. And in the introductory verses of Surah Al-Mu'minun, Allah says that the translation, undoubtedly, the mu'minun, the believers, the Muslims are successful. They have reached their goal. So a person who is sahib-e-iman, he is successful in the eyes of Islam, in the view of Islam. And many verses also mention the same, that if a person has iman, then that person is truly successful. And iman, the literal meaning of iman is to be protected from the eternal punishment of Allah. That person is sahib-e-iman, जो दायमी अजाब से हमेशा के लिए बच गया, वो साहिब-e-iman है, वो हालत अमन में आ गया. The Shari meaning is at-tasdiqu ma ja'a bihi nabiyyu sallallahu alayhi wasallam, to affirm whatever our Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam brought, meaning the Sharia that he brought, to affirm that iqrarun bil lisani wa tasdiqun bil qalb, to say it with the tongue and to affirm it from the heart. That person is sahib-e-iman, he is a believer. And they are the ones whom the Quran says that undoubtedly the mu'minun, the believers, have reached their goal. Yani aflaha, it contains both this dunya and the akhirah. Yani dunya or akhirat mein wo kamyab hua. Kaun? Jo sahib-e-iman hai. And the Quran, it mentions this elsewhere, also in the introductory verses of Surah Al-Baqarah, that when it's talking about the quality of those people who have taqwa, and taqwa is only something, it is something exclusive to the mu'minun. ये मुमिनून की सिफत है, ये ईमान वालों की सिफत है. क्या? तकवा. ईमान वाला होगा तो उसे तकवा हासिल होगा, अगर ईमान नहीं है तो तकवा का सवाल ही पैदा नहीं होता. So who are those people? The ones who have correct beliefs, जो सहीउल अक़ीदा है, the ones who believe in the ghaib, الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة, and they establish their salah, and they spend some from that which we have provided them. They do infaq fi sabilillah. And those who believe in that which was revealed to you, O beloved, and that which came before you, which was revealed before you, and they believe in the akhirah. They have firm conviction in the akhirah. And the Quran says, أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَىٰ هُدًى مِّن رَبِّهِمْ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. They are the ones who have guidance from their Rabb, and they are the ones who are muflihun, and muflihun is from aflaha, who are truly successful. Elsewhere it is mentioned in Surah Al-Imran that وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنْتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. That do not hold yourself back, meaning do not be lazy and do not grieve. You will be victorious. तुम्हारे लिए कामयाबी है. कब? In kuntum mu'minin, if you are believers. So the kamyabi, the success is with the believers, but we need to be a complete believer to enjoy the success both in this dunya and in the akhirah. Also mentioned in Surah Al-A'la that قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ تَزَكَّى, that undoubtedly the one who attained purity, who purified himself, is successful. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ تَزَكَّى. It is also mentioned in another verse about what is kamyabi. We will learn about kamyabi, success, from the Quran. In this verse it is mentioned, كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ وَإِنَّمَا تُوَفَّوْنَ أُجُورَكُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ فَمَنْ زُحْزِحَ عَنِ النَّارِ وَأُدْخِلَ الْجَنَّةَ فَقَدْ فَازَ. That وَإِنَّمَا تُوَفَّوْنَ أُجُورَكُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ, that you will be given your complete reward on the day of judgment. Then whoever was saved from the fire, فَمَنْ زُحْزِحَ عَنِ النَّارِ وَأُدْخِلَ الْجَنَّةَ, and was made to enter paradise. فَقَدْ فَازَ, then undoubtedly he has attained success. वो कामयाब हुआ. So kamyabi, success, how is it measured? By being a believer and by obeying the commands of Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. وَمَن يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَقَدْ فَازَ فَوْزًا عَظِيمًا. That whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger, then undoubtedly, indeed, he has attained a great success. यानी अल्लाह जिसने अल्लाह और उसके रसूल की फरमा बरदारी जो बजा लाया, तो बेशक वो उसने बहुत बड़ी कामयाबी हासिल की. फ़क़द फ़ाज़ फ़ौज़न अज़ीमा, यानी जिसको कुरान पाक अज़ीम फरमा रहा है, ये अज़ीम कामयाबी है. किसमें? अल्लाह और उसके रसूल की फरमा बरदारी में. In being obedient to Allah and His Rasul, this is the real success for a believer. It is also mentioned in Surah An-Nur, وَمَن يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ وَيَخْشَ اللَّهَ وَيَتَّقْهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَائِزُونَ. That whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger and fears Allah, और अल्लाह से डरता है उसकी नाफरमानी करने से, उसको नाराज करने से, वो डरता है इस चीज़ से. He fears Allah's displeasure. He fears being disobedient to Allah. And he works to be pious. وَيَتَّقِي, और taqwa हासिल करता है. And he adopts piety. Then they are the ones who are faizun, who are truly successful. वो लोग कामयाब हैं. Also mentioned in Surah Al-Hashr, لا يستوي أصحاب النار وأصحاب الجنة. That the people of the hellfire and the people of paradise are not equal. The Quran tells you, Ashabul Jannati humul faizun. That the people of Jannah, of paradise, they are the ones who are successful. Wo kamyab hai. So a Muslim should not be disheartened. He should not feel dejected. He should not feel frustrated or in despair when he sees the enemies of Allah enjoying worldly power, riches, having better careers, better jobs, things like that, because that is not success. That is not success. And to try and attain riches which are haram, the Prophet ﷺ, he condemned that. And he said that that dunya which is najaiz, those earnings which are unlawful, then he said that those people who want to achieve that dunya which is unlawful, which is haram, the haram part of the dunya which is unlawful earnings, then he said that such a dunya is like a carcass. यानी वो मुर्दा है, ऐसी दुनिया मुर्दा है और उसके चाहने वाले कुत्ते हैं. ये रसूलुल्लाह का फरमान है. And the ones who seek such a dunya, they are dogs. Why did he mention the word dog? Because dogs are lalchi in their nature. They have greed, they have avarice. So we see some people, they don't discriminate between halal and haram. They don't care whether something is halal or haram. They just want money, paisa ho chahe jaisa ho. This is their soch. And for such people, it is mentioned that those people will only be full when their mouths are filled with the soil of the grave. The Prophet mentions in a hadith, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that if a person had a valley, एक पूरी वादी जो सोने की भरी हुई हो, अगर किसी के पास इतना खजाना हो, a valley which is full of gold, then he will still not be satiated, he will still not be content. He will wish कि मुझे दूसरी वादी कब मिलेगी. फिर भी उसकी ये तलब होगी. इस किस्म के भी लोग हमारे दरमियान मौजूद होते हैं जो हलाल और हराम का में कोई इम्तियाज नहीं करते. जिस किसी का भी पैसा वो हड़प करना चाहे वो हड़प कर लेते हैं. They do not discriminate. They are driven by greed. This is a disease of the heart. This is a disease of the heart. उनके दिल बीमार हैं इस हवस में जो नाजायज़ है. और इसके बारे में रसूलुल्लाह अलैहि वसल्लम की वईद है जो मैंने, which I've just mentioned in front of you. So this is what we call true success, is to be a believer. And then the Quran, coming back to what I was saying, that in obedience to Allah and His Rasul. So when we go to the doctor and the doctor prescribes for us some medicine, then we have so much yaqeen in that doctor. हम आंखें बंद करके वो दवा उससे ले लेते हैं और खा लेते हैं और यकीन कर लेते हैं कि with this दवा, with this medicine, Allah will give us shifa. This is what we do. We don't question him. Whatever the doctor prescribes, whatever medication he prescribes, we have no hesitation. We will take that medicine straight away and we will take it without thinking. But what about what Allah and Rasulullah has prescribed for us? Allah and Rasulullah has prescribed for us. Sometimes the doctor is experimenting. He is trying a medicine on you. You're not guaranteed to be given shifa. Allah gives you shifa. If it is the will of Allah, you will be given shifa through that medicine. That is a sabab. If it is not the will of Allah, you will not attain shifa. But Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they have mentioned to us, they have prescribed for us what? Piety. ये तकवा वाली जिंदगी जो साहिब ईमान है, सब पहले साहिब ईमान हो जाओ. To the kuffar, the invitation is open that you come into the folds of Islam. Because it is hudan linnas, it is guidance for all mankind. And for the mu'minun, what are we required to do? Ittiba of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Follow his blessed footsteps, his blessed and sacred sunnah, and to be obedient to the commands of Allah and His Rasul without questioning. Just as we don't question the doctor when he gives us medicine, why do we pick and choose? We shouldn't be picking and choosing. Whatever Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam have instructed for us, we should be amanna wa saddaqna. We should believe and affirm from the heart and without any hesitation. This is what the Sahaba Kiram Ridwanullahi Ta'ala alayhim ajma'in did. That they would have no hesitation. Whatever Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam would say, they would implement that forthwith, immediately, without any hesitation, without any pondering. But we hesitate, we ponder, we think what the world will say, what our nafs says. We question it. So we, in order to be, a sahib taqwa, a muttaqi, one who is God-fearing, then we should be obedient to Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam without any hesitation, without any questioning. And why are the believers successful? Because they will be given paradise. They will be granted paradise, Jannah, and all the blessings in paradise. इसके हुसूल पर वो कामयाब हुए कि उनको जन्नत मिलेगी और जन्नत के अंदर जो तमाम नेमतें जिनका वादा अल्लाह ने फरमाया है वो तमाम से वो सरफराज होंगे. And they will be blessed with the vision of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the didar of Allah azza wa jal. Or that they may be maqboolud dua. And Allah will listen to them, meaning will listen to their du'as if they adopt piety. By adopting piety, by being a person who is obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then that individual, there are many in'amat, many rewards for that person. And the first quality that is mentioned are those people who are totally humble in their salah. यानी वो अपनी नमाज में उनके पास खुशू होता है. They have khashiyat, they have khushu, they have humiliation in their salah. Those people, they are the ones who have been described in the subsequent verse. That who are the mu'minun? Those people who demonstrate humiliation in their salah. And how can one adopt humiliation in one's salah? To always pray the salah on the right time, to always pray and establish the salah correctly, and to be punctual in your salah. Not be a part-time musalli, a person who prays his salah sometimes, who is irregular, who is not punctual, and to protect the salah from those things which are mufsidat, the makruhat, those things which render the salah invalid or which reduce the reward, to protect it from that. In order to do that, you must have knowledge of these things. This is why ilm is a prerequisite for implementation. Al-ilmu imamul amali. But without ilm, you will not be able to offer your salah with humiliation. And then, when we offer our salah, what should be our mindset? Meaning, how can we focus in our salah? How can we be those people that when they are praying their salah, they are in that state of humiliation, that we must have presence of mind in our salah. As the hadith of Rasulullah mentions, that when a mu'min is worshipping Allah, أَن تَعْبُدَ اللَّهَ كَأَنَّكَ تَرَاهُ, that when he worships Allah, then he does it as though he is seeing Allah. And if he cannot do that, فَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ تَرَاهُ فَإِنَّهُ يَرَاكَ, because that is very difficult as we have not seen Allah. Then what should he do? Then at least pray your salah with the conviction that Allah is watching you. Throughout your salah, keep on reminding yourself that you are being watched by Allah. You are conversing with Allah. You are engaged in, you have an appointment with Allah. And you are giving your full attention to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is when you say Allahu Akbar, you're saying Allah is the greatest.
Yes.
You begin with that He is the greatest. Everything else that you are leaving behind, you have severed your connection with the dunya. And you have turned to Allah, accepting, acknowledging that He is the greatest. And I have turned to Him. Then throughout your salah, remind yourself repeatedly, as soon as your mind wanders off elsewhere, towards your errands, towards the things which you have lost, towards those things which still are pending, that you need to do, then you should keep on reminding yourself that Allah is watching you. And you are talking, you are conversing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have that honor, and this is your mi'raj, this is your position of elevation, that you are engaged in conversing with Allah and you are being obedient to the command of Allah, which is aqimus salah, establish salah, and you are worshipping your Creator. And then if we can remind ourselves, an alim said that, a Sufi scholar, he said that when a person is about to pray salah, he should try and remind himself that how would he pray this salah if he knew this was his last salah and he would die after this salah. How would he pray that salah then? How much concentration would he have then? That, give yourself that belief, that conviction that this could be my last salah. Maybe it is. We do not know when the angel of death is going to strike us. When our appointment with Allah in terms of death we are going to face that. So if we say this is our last salah, how would we pray our salah if it was our last salah? If it was our last namaz? And then another scholar recommended that you should focus on the translation, meaning learn the translation of the salah by heart, then you will know what you are saying. Focusing on the translation of salah, what Allahu Akbar means, what Subhanakallah, what Surah Fatiha, Subhana Rabbiyal Azim, Tasbih of Sajda, the Shahud and Durood and the Dua. Focus on that, and you will know what you are saying to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Other ulama have mentioned that you should think that the Kaaba is in front of you. On your right is Jannah, on your left is Jahannam, and you are standing on the pul Sirat. And behind you is Malikul Maut, waiting to capture your soul. How would you pray your salah then? Then your mind would not drift elsewhere and go to the bazaar and think about the errands that you need to do after your salah. That you've got this to-do list. This is what we'll be doing in our salah. But it is normal because this is a waswasa coming from the shaitan, but you have to keep on reminding yourself. And when you are struggling in your salah and you are trying to have huzur-e-qalb, presence of mind, presence of heart, then the reward will be greater. The reward will be greater. So then, these are those people who are successful. Time does not permit for me to continue, inshallah. I will continue some other time in the same topic. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين بسنته. और अगली सफ़ा को मुकम्मल करें.